Good morning, all, depending when you're watching this. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, I'm going to be showing you my entry to a Japanese deck building competition, and we're going to run a competition of our own. I've got some Chaos Cards playmats to give away, and at the end of the video I will tell you how you can try and win one. Yay! So essentially, every time they release a new set in Japan, they have a deck building competition, and what you need to do is build a deck using some cards from the new set, though not primarily, and it's judged partly on competitiveness and partly on how interesting and fun it is. Now, the lovely Antoine Boulet told me about this. He showed me his entry to the deck building competition. Here it is, Electrode Xerneas Break. I thought it was very fun. He said, Ross, why don't you make your own entry? And I thought, you know what, Antoine, you're a lovely man, and yes, I will make my own entry. And clearly, because it's all based around Champion Road, and because Champion Road has a Donphan in, we're going Donphan here, ladies and gentlemen. It had to happen, and it is happening. Just remember, this is partly fun, partly competitive, so although I do think there is a nugget of a great Donphan deck in here, there are a few bits that are a bit silly that I would cut if I was taking to a tournament. It's all based around Donphan, and for one fighting energy, Flail. You do as much damage as is on you. That's pretty gosh darn good. The trick of this particular Donphan deck, now I should also mention here that Japan play X and Y on, so this is an X and Y on deck list. We are using Focus Sash. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Focus Sash plus Donphan is a phenomenal combination. Your opponent attacks. Focus Sash gets discarded. You go down to 10 HP. You can then do 120 for 1 energy. Or, 140 with a strong energy. Or, add 20 with Diancie Prism Star, and I've only put 1 because it's a bit awkward, but because Focus Sash falls off when you get hit, you can then even go play a Choice Band to add an extra 30 damage there. Now, we do play Fampi, which has a similar kind of thing going on to Focus Sash. You flip a coin, if heads, then essentially next turn, if you would be KO'd, you go down to 10 remaining, which means you can then evolve up into Donphan and hit 60 for 1 energy. That is the core of this deck. Donphan plus Focus Sash. This is something you're going to be able to do in the expanded format when this card releases over here in August. We cannot play the Donphan from Plasma Storm because unfortunately that's not X and Y onwards. That's not legal in Japan at the moment. So the main attacker here is Donphan, but we also see Donphan coming in with his second attack, Rapid Spin. 50 damage for a fighting double colorless, and you switch with one of your bench. Then your opponent switches their active with one of their bench Pokemon. It can work as a hit and run Pokemon. Now, it is for free energy. This is why Flail is our primary strategy here. But you know what? This could still be quite a lot of fun. You could still get this rolling. We are still playing for double colorless energy because we want to try and be doing this. You put a strong energy on there, then a double colorless, 70, but it's 90 with a Diancie Prism Star, etc. It could be quite fun. So then, of course, because we're using this partly as a hit and run Pokemon, we have some wall Pokemon coming in here. We have some Pokemon that we want to chuck up as walls. Now, first of all, we've got Reshiram and Zekrom from Shining Legends, both of which have the Outrage attack. They do 20 damage plus as much as is on them, and like Donphan, they've got 130. This is important because Zoroark can only hit 120, although in this format, Skyfield is unfortunately legal. It means Golisopod can only hit 120, Silvally can only hit 120, etc. You are going to survive a few of these hits, and then you've got a lightning type and a fire type attacker ready to roll. We play a Hooper from Shining Legends. Apparently Shining Legends was a really good set for wall Pokemon, which has immunity from EX and GX Pokemon. Chuck that one up if your opponent has an EX, GX heavy deck. We play a Wobbuffet, blocking abilities of non-psychic Pokemon, but you're really not reliant on abilities here other than Diancie Prism Star, but you'll have Diancie Prism Star only when you've got Donphan in the active. When Wobbuffet's in the active, it's irrelevant anyway. And we do play one Mr. Mime. We play the Magic Evens one. That means that if the damage counter number is even 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, 240, 260, although they could go up to 280 and hit you, then that attack does nothing. Why don't we play the Magic Odds, Mr. Mime? It's not out yet. It is a gym challenge promo over in Japan, and unfortunately, it's not out yet, so we can't play it. Sorry about that. So we've got Donphan for flailing, but then we've also got Donphan as a hit and run. There is one more thing, and this is where we're getting a little bit fancy. Tyranitar. See, the thing about Tyranitar is that for quite a few energy, admittedly, for 4 energy, you do 120, doesn't it, for weakness, and then you flip a coin for each Pokemon in play, 60 damage for each heads. The thing is, you want to do 60 damage to all of your opponent's bench, but you've got Donphan, Reshiram and Zekrom, all of whom do more damage for each damage counter on them, so you are totally okay with flipping heads and getting damage on those Pokemon. This is not a particularly competitive idea. The Tyranitar is awkward, but I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if it works, it will be a lot of fun, and that's why we chucked it into the deck building competition. Now, to this end, we also play a couple of counter energy, and counter energy here, firstly, it can work for Donphan's hit and run attack, but it means you can use Reshiram's fire type attack, Zekrom's lightning type attack, you can use Hooper's attack, you can use Wobbuffet's attack, you can use Tyranitar's attack, and it gives you lots of different attacking options, and actually allows you to hit for weakness for fighting, fire, lightning, darkness, and psychic. That sounds pretty good to me. And that is the main basis of the deck. Using Donphan to flail with Focus Sash. When you get enough energy, turning him into a hit and run Pokemon with a variety of walls, and then Tyranitar in there really just to add a little bit of spice. And the rest of the deck is all there really just to get it ticking along. The less usual things you see are for Korrina. It's a fighting deck. You can search for a fighting Pokemon and an item. It's great. We see a single copy of Rare Candy here, really just for Tyranitar. You can search it out with Korrina, otherwise we wouldn't play one. We see a copy of Special Charge, which is absolutely vital given that we are playing, 10 special energy and 2 basic, although we are still playing a couple of basic, so if we come across something like a Xurkitree GX, for instance, we're still going to be okay. And we do see one copy of Eco Arm, so we can have as many Focus Sash as possible. Only one choice band, you can reuse it with Eco Arm. It's nice for when Focus Sash gets knocked off, but really here you want to be focusing on Focus Sash. That's funny. So you don't really want too many choice band, you want Focus Sash. Obviously we're playing Floatstone here because you've got to get your walls out of the active. We're playing one Tapu Lele because we don't want to play Tapu Lele. We want to play a non-EX, non-GX deck other than Mr. Mime, but we're playing that if we think we're going to have immunity against a bunch of decks. So we don't mind playing that. Otherwise we want no EXs, no GXs. That would be very bad. And we're only playing one copy of Bridget because most of the time we're going to want to play stuff like Korrina. So even though we have one there so we can go for the Tapu Lele, it's not absolutely vital that we do so. There's the usual things there like a rescue stretcher to recover Pokemon and a field blower to get rid of tools. Neither of which are absolutely vital, but they are going to be useful. We have a Guzma in there. Now remember, we're playing X and Y on, so Versus Seeker is in the format, so we can get away with only playing one Guzma, because we're actually going to be able to turn it potentially into 5 Guzma. And then we've got Cynthia and N as Shuffle Draw, because we don't want to be playing Sycamore and discarding a bunch of Focus Sash, etc. here. We want to be going Shuffle Draw, so that is exactly what we're doing. Oh, and we're only playing 2 Ultra Ball because we've got Korrina here, so we can always just search out the Ultra Ball if we really need to. It's a little bit clunky, and obviously if I were taking this to a tournament, Tyranitar would come out. and we would be focusing a bit more heavily on Donphan, maybe even going for a second eco arm, and really trying to match our walls to the metagame that we're expecting. I think this is a lot of fun. I think it's a good Donphan deck, and I was delighted to join this tournament. Well, competition. But this is where you come in, ladies and gentlemen. I've said before, I've got some Chaos Cards mats to give away. I'm going to give away one of them to one of you lovely people in this video. Hopefully, I mean, if no one enters, I won't, but that would be sad. What I need you to do is email me at ptcgradio@hotmail.co.uk your entry for this competition. It must feature some cards for Champion Road. LimitlessTCG.com/translations is the best place to see a full list, though I have of course done videos on all of these cards. The main ones from this video, I will pop links in the description. And other than that, X and Y on. Must feature some Champion Road cards, must be X and Y on, and we're going for a mixture of playability and fun. Not just fun but completely unplayable, but we're not trying to make the best deck ever that wins everything, we're trying to be interesting and fun at the same time. Email your entries to ptcgradio@hotmail.co.uk. Best one gets a playmat from Wassy. There we go. Hopefully some people are going to enter, otherwise that's just a little bit sad. Until then, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. And of course, make sure you pop down in the comment section what you think of my Donphan deck. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and so on, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. And do make sure you check out my video game/Dragon Ball Super channel, Wassy Plays, for some more Wassy action. We just uploaded a video about the Switch's online service. Go check it out, it's fun. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.